looking for a house with no walls or no whispers, no hiding places, no secret sister. Been looking for a house that won't shelter a lie, no tear-stained past or reason to cry. I wanna live in a house of...
I am Nan Gill. This is Empowering Women Everywhere, and today our guest is Ellie Savoy. She is a board-certified holistic coach and the author of her book, Stop Dieting, Start Living. Hi Ellie, how are you?
Hi Nan, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. So glad to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I've been waiting to interview you about this because I think it's just so important, the work that you're doing. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started and what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it all started, really, the initial piece to this was in 2008.
Okay.
When my mother passed away after eight years of being ill. 21 months later, my dad passed away.
Oh my goodness.
Very suddenly of a heart attack. And those two things obviously caused a lot of grief and introspection. Right. And I just started to think about, well, I'm this type A personality, an overachiever.
Right.
Go, 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 stressed to the hilt.
Right.
And so what's it all about?
Where am I going and what am I doing?
Right. And because that saying, you can't take it with you when you die,
right,
is just so true. And it really hit me in those moments. So, but what really got my attention, that woke me up, was in 2011 I had my own diagnosis.
Oh no.
And it was uterine fibroids actually, and I was given 4 options. One was a hysterectomy, 2 other horrid surgeries,
right,
or do nothing. And I didn't want surgery.
Right.
So I basically healed my body naturally through homeopathy at the time. And then I realized that I wanted to help other people. I've always been interested in health and wellness, and but been in and out of it my whole life.
Right.
I wasn't really all in just when I felt like it. Pretty much when my body had been pushed to the limit and I needed to recover.
Right.
So I went and became a board-certified holistic health coach. And then I wrote my book in 2015. That's when it was released. Mm-hmm. Because I thought, you know what? I really, when I looked at how I got to where I was on this path,
right,
it was really a strong 5 Ps, which we'll probably cover today. But just to say for now, the first one was priorities.
Right.
And I made myself a priority.
Right.
And that's what I call the foundational work, because I was a yo-yo dieter for over 25 years, like so many other people, especially women are.
Right.
And we just think, well, it worked before, I'll try it again. I'm going to a party on Saturday, it's a wedding 2 months from now, I'll just starve myself until then.
Right, which is not good for your body at all.
No, and it's miserable actually, just to always have that chatter in your mind about food. And so I wanted to share this message.
Right.
It's because I live it. This is not sort of textbook stuff. It's not something I've read about. This is something I've gone from the struggle of that to the freedom that it provides.
Uh-huh.
And I'm told all the time from people, this message is so big, it's so needed, that there's so many people struggling unnecessarily. And so my focus is about health.
Right. Then
the weight takes care of itself. It's sort of like we have the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Right? It's like, I need to be thin, I need to lose weight. Well, who cares really if you're not healthy?
Well, if you're hungry and you're not getting the right food and the right nutrition, you're going to stuff with all kinds of stuff that might not be good for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just, you eat because you're hungry, and then if you're not eating the right things, it just doesn't satisfy you.
Exactly.
And you eat more, and you start wearing your clothes.
Yes.
I mean, wearing your food.
Wearing your food, yes. Yes, it shows up all over. Just where you don't want it to.
Exactly. Just when you want to get in that suit, or the bathing suit, or the the slack set you haven't worn in a year because you're going someplace special, and then all of a sudden you can't fit in and you're wondering what happened.
I know, we have this negative self-talk. You know, we look in the mirror
Right.
and like, oh, I don't like the way that is. Oh, my hips are too big. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, go into the closet is no fun because we don't really like the way we look in our clothes.
Right.
And so we can stop that madness. I call it a trap. It's like society just is in our face all the time with
Right,
the next
about
best
how much
fix.
you weigh and
Yeah.
how thin you are.
Yeah, and so, you know, I'm the total opposite of that now. And
You're thin.
well, I mean, I'm healthy.
Right.
The numbers I focus on are my blood work numbers,
Okay.
not the number on the scales.
No, but really, basically, if you're healthy, you look good.
Yes, yeah.
If you're healthy, you know, and if you're dieting and you're not eating the proper food and you're not getting enough protein, you know, you get to a point where you're starved and you begin to stuff. I mean, I remember I used to, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, nothing felt like it would work for me except a bowl of vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce. And then I would get the rest of the energy to go the rest of the day. And that's like nothing. That's like eating nothing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it gives you a buzz, it gives you a sugar high. The sugar drinks that they have now that they sell,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't help.
No, it's I mean, I used to have that roller coaster as well
Right.
years ago. You know, you'd have something. It's like the afternoon crash. So you'd need something to pick you up.
Right.
So you'd have something sugary and sweet,
Right.
and then you'd have that slump afterwards.
Right. Afterwards,
Yeah.
yeah. It's worse than it was before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are your 8 P's?
5.
5 P's,
I may
okay.
come up with 8 one day, but right now they're 5.
There's only 5, okay.
Well, the first one is priorities.
Right,
And I like to refer to it as, I like to use the house as a metaphor.
right.
So, because it's funny, really, I came from such a simple upbringing. You know, I'm from England. My parents live very simply.
I wouldn't have guessed.
You know, somebody asked me recently, where are you from? And I always say the Bronx, and they never know how to take me. They think, they're like, some people...
Where
you
in
know,
England did you grow up?
The southwest, Gloucestershire.
Okay.
And so, but when I moved to America in 1998,
Uh-huh.
and it was always known to us as the land of opportunity. And so, of course, you know, with my personality, I was just, you know, off
You were opportuning.
doing everything. I was yes, opportuning. And so I realized that I forgot where I was going with this now.
No, well, the 4 P's. The 5 P's.
Oh, the house.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
So I came back to the simplicity.
yeah.
The
Five.
simplicity. I'm just testing you, Nancy, if you're paying attention. To the simplicity of living.
Right.
And so once I made myself a priority, and then that leads into stop pretending, and which is all about excuses, because when we're a priority, we don't have the excuses. And so
So it's very hard for a woman to be a priority because she has children, she has a husband, and she's always thinking about that, or she's thinking about her career. So thinking about yourself as the most important thing, get that priority first.
yes, it's like,
And then
you know,
everything else will follow, because you can't really be of service to somebody else if you're not taking care of
that
yourself.
is exactly it, Nan. It's like
Yeah.
the safety announcement on the plane, isn't it? They tell us to put your own oxygen mask on first in case of an emergency.
Right,
And yet we think that we have to put everything and everybody else ahead of ourselves.
exactly.
But even if we have somebody that is, like let's say an aging parent or anybody that
Right.
we're caring for, we often let ourselves go to the curb because we don't have time for ourselves. But healthy living, honestly, does not take a lot of time. It's just like anything else. We get dressed in the morning, we brush our teeth.
Right.
You know, we go to the bathroom. There are things we do. We don't say I don't have time for any of that. These are
I
just
don't
things
have time
that
to go
we
to the
do.
bathroom. Would be a real mess.
So the priorities is a foundational piece.
Right. Getting the proper nutrition for your health is a priority.
Yes, and making a declaration and saying, you know, drawing a line in the sand. I'm a priority in my own life, and
Right.
I matter. That's it. It's really that simple. And it has energy around it. It carries weight. It's like it's powerful.
Right.
And so I refer to that as the foundation of a house, because you can't put up the walls and the roof
Right.
unless you have something solid for it to last on.
Exactly.
Right? And diets and quick fixes don't have that foundation.
Right.
So it can become a lifestyle.
If you're not getting the proper nutrition, you're tired, and you can't do whatever you need to do during the day anyway.
Right.
So, okay. So that's the first priority,
Yep.
is putting your health first.
Start there. This is not a race. I talk about progression, not perfection.
Right.
So it's a progression. It's not a sprint. It's a slow and steady.
It's an enjoyment.
And yes, and to enjoy it. And I have a great tip too, because oh my gosh, this was just like so liberating, to say don't get rid of all your junk. We always think we have to get all the rubbish out of the house and then we're good.
Right.
But the thing is, in the beginning, we're not ready for that because it's too much of a leap.
Yeah.
So still eat potato chips, still eat whatever your go-tos are. If you like ice cream or, whatever that is, have it.
But
start bringing in more healthful foods. Right. And then the ones that aren't so healthy get crowded out.
Okay.
And then the second P is the pretending piece, which I refer to as the walls. They are like, you can take shortcuts when you're building a house. You might put a 2x4 and then a 2x6 and not set it up properly.
Right.
And it's not the right way to build a house, right? There are certain ways you do things. And if we're sort of taking shortcuts with ourselves and pretending to ourselves that we ate 2 cookies when we ate the whole bag, let's say, the whole packet, we're not doing the best for ourselves.
Right.
So this pretending P is big. I mean, for me, I was drinking wine most nights as a way to decompress.
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking it morning, noon, and night, but it just at night. So to me, it was like, well, that's okay, because it's just at night, and it just becomes a habit.
Right.
And then it carries a lot of empty calories. It affects
Wine
your
really
sleep.
puts it on you.
Yeah.
Especially on your stomach.
Yeah. So I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now, not just from the wine.
Right.
My lifestyle in general. And so we have to get, Susie Orman says, the financial guru, you
Right.
have to face it to erase it when she's referring to debt.
Right.
But it's the same with us. If
With food.
If we have our head in the sand and we're like, we're pretending it doesn't exist.
Or pretending it's okay, what we're doing is
Yes, yeah. Then we don't really set
okay.
ourselves
Like it's
free.
only one bowl of ice cream every afternoon.
Yeah. But if it's 6, it's okay. Just own it, and deal with the consequences.
Right.
And the third one is perception.
Okay.
We often think that things cost too much money or take too much time, and that it costs too much to eat real healthy food. Well, it's true that it does cost more at the register, but it's cheaper than dealing with sick care here
Right.
or health care.
Definitely.
So, those few extra dollars
Yep.
go a long way. And I refer to this as upgrades. Like we upgrade our operating systems, our phones and all this kind of thing, right? And we'll upgrade the seat on the plane if we can.
Right.
We're looking for upgrades in our lives that we think are beneficial to us.
Right.
But I encourage people to look at their food choices in terms of upgrades.
Exactly.
So rather than, going from mac and cheese to quinoa, right? And people are like, quinoa? Quinoa. It's actually, people think it's a grain, but apparently it's a seed.
Yeah.
But it's really fluffy and it's a
Right.
very healthy food.
Right.
And it doesn't taste very good all by itself. You have to jazz it up a bit.
Right.
But so that would be an upgrade, but there are simpler upgrades that don't take quite a leap for people.
Right.
So it could be, let's say it's something, I don't eat any processed foods anymore, but let's say it's a TV dinner.
Exactly.
And it's in a box and you just stick it in the oven or the microwave. And it's convenient. It's very convenient, but there's going to be a price for that. Lifestyle at some point with the inconvenience of feeling sick or, being ill over something.
Or getting ill.
Or getting a disease or something.
But there are, quick meals
Yes.
that are organic and healthy.
Oh, I tell you, I don't spend hours in the kitchen.
Right.
People are amazed at, I say, I whip things up in 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Pull out that Cuisinart and the Vitamix, and my gadgets aren't collecting dust in the back of the cupboard anymore. They're being used. And so these upgrades can be a real game changer, because it's just about shifting our perception around how we view things. So for me, it was like I stopped making I made myself a priority. I stopped the pretending.
Right.
I switched my perception. And so instead of cooking feeling like a chore and us eating out 4 nights a week, which we used to do,
Right.
I really like to be in the kitchen now. And I actually, on my way here today, I have my smoothie with me. I made it earlier.
Yep.
It's in the car to drink when I go home. Really nice. Should have brought you one too, I didn't think.
That's okay, I've already had mine today.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
So then the fourth one is plan.
Okay.
We're often planning everything else in life,
Yep.
like a vacation, some kind of a party, a dinner gathering,
Right.
meeting a friend, going to the hairdresser. We have a plan, we make appointments.
Right.
Yet we don't often have a plan for our day-to-day life. We're flying out the door in the morning. We're not thinking about what's for dinner.
Exactly.
So then that convenience piece sets in, thinking that, oh, this is easy. I don't have to think about it.
Right.
So the planning piece, it takes time in the beginning, that's for sure. This is not an overnight fix.
And you have a lot of help on your website, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
And what's the name of your website?
It's my name, elliesavoy.com.
Okay.
Yep.
And your phone number, in case anyone...
845-677-9403.
Right. So if you need help in planning, you can go right to Ellie's website. And on her website, I took a look. You have recipes, you have instructions, you even have how to pick which appliance and
Yes, yes.
and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it's a good tool to get started. And you don't have to do it all at once.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
It's just picking something. So even with the upgrades, I often encourage people to say pick 2 or 3, or
Right.
let's say 6. If you're comfortable with 6, then do what's ever comfortable without going into overwhelm.
Right.
And then look for those items that are your favorites.
Right.
And look for an upgrade. So an upgrade of something in a packet could be fewer ingredients. Some ingredient lists are like this long.
Exactly.
And you can't pronounce some of the words.
And you don't know what it is.
No, it's not food.
Right.
It looks like food, but it's not from the earth. It's made in a lab or a factory.
And they do a lot of that in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all these things are huge contributors to the health crisis here. Or this quick fix approach to everything, or this quick convenience, you know? And so there's no shortcut. We have to, as you say, get the proper nutrition. But it's even more than that. It's not just our physical health, it's our emotional health, our mental health.
Exactly.
You know?
If you don't feel well, you don't feel like doing anything.
It's miserable.
Yeah.
It's really
But if you
is.
have good energy in the morning,
Yeah.
if you're eating properly, you're getting the right nutrition. Do you recommend vitamins? Or?
Good question. I actually don't take that many myself.
Okay.
I do prefer to get as much as I can from my food. But having said that, some of the soils today are depleted.
Right.
And even
And they
though,
don't they're supposed to let it rest a year every 7th year.
Yeah.
We don't do
I
that.
remember that in school. It was called the 3-field crop rotation.
Right.
But we belong to it's called a CSA out in the area
Right.
where we live. It's a community supported agriculture.
Uh-huh.
We've been doing that for many years
And there's a
now.
lot of them around.
There are, yeah. There's a great website actually called localharvest.org,
Okay.
where you can go in and find a local a restaurant that's serving local food,
Right.
or a local CSA. In fact, I gave a friend of mine ages ago, that website, and she didn't realize there was one right in practically in her own backyard. She was
Okay.
so thankful. So that's so with the vitamins and things like that, I do supplement a bit, but not very much.
Right.
I'm not really into these multi-level marketing approaches to things where you've got like 30 vegetables in one pill.
Uh-huh.
It's all dried. I mean, it might work for some people, but that's not my approach.
Right.
Because to me, it's about being invested. Not that could be still considered a quick fix. Oh, I've had everything I need. Let's just swallow a pill. Instead of enjoying the connection with food, what it really represents,
Yeah.
and having a meal around the table.
Right.
Yeah. So
So we've got priority. Yeah, we've got
Come on now. Pretending.
all right. Priority, pretending,
Perception.
perception,
Plan.
plan,
And passion.
Wow.
Back to the house metaphor. So the perception is for the upgrades. It's like when we in our homes, we'd like to have nice countertops, nice appliances. We have
Right.
an upgrade of those things like nice taps
Right.
and whatnot. And then the plan is the roof. It's like what protects us from the elements. And so, if we don't have this plan, we're not protected.
Right.
Right? We're just going to stop at every convenience store and whatnot.
right. Or you're hungry.
Yes.
That's the worst part. You wait until you're hungry.
Yeah. And then you don't have anything with you, and so you just,
Yeah.
go for everything and anything.
And the stuff that you can get in the convenience store isn't really healthy.
No,
Yeah.
not to my knowledge anyway.
Right.
So the passion is like moving into your nesting, moving into your home, it being comfortable in your space.
Right.
And feeling at ease. It's like being at home in your body,
Right.
not feeling stressed out about what you're eating or how much weight you've got. And really start to embrace feeling happier in life.
Right.
And the older we get, we're so bombarded with being told it's all downhill from here. Women in menopause, it's you're going to be dealing with hot flashes and all this, and some do, but we can improve so many things that we're going through. We don't have to deal with all these elements and ailments.
Well, it's just like your car. You really would not put in dirty water into your car to make it run. You have to use a nice gasoline.
Yep.
So if you don't put the right stuff into your body, you're not going to have the energy. You're going to feel depressed. You're not going to feel good.
Right.
You're just not, and you're not going to have the passion to live.
Right.
If you're getting proper nutrition, then you wake up in the morning and you're like, yeah, hey man, bring it on. What do I want to do today?
Yeah.
And
And I have sustained energy now throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm naturally tired at the end of the day.
right.
I don't stay up all hours working. I mean, sometimes I didn't used to shut off the computer until at the earliest 9 o'clock.
Well, you are a workaholic.
Well, am I? It looks that way.
One to another, I can tell.
Yeah, well, I do love what I do.
Yeah.
But I have so much more mindfulness now about how I feel and wanting to maintain feeling well.
Yes.
And I don't push myself to the limits anymore.
Yeah, when you're tired, you rest.
Yes.
And that's so important.
Yeah.
And it's hard, as a mother, it's hard as a caregiver, but if you don't plan and get somebody in to assist you when you need it and just say, oh, I'm going to white knuckle it, I'm going to get down, I'm going to do it all myself, you burn yourself out and then there's nobody to do it.
Yeah.
So if you plan, like one of the P's, then you can say, oh my goodness, I do need an afternoon off. I need to get my balance back. I need to get a massage. I need to, get some healthy food. And then you'll have the energy the next day to carry on.
Yeah. And you sleep better too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the statistic off the top of my head, but it's a huge percentage of people don't get quality sleep. End up yawning at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And just don't feel well throughout the day.
I think a lot of people do sugar drinks and coffee and caffeine all during the day, and then, they're really not getting nutrition. They're getting enough energy to get through the day, but then when the end of the day comes, it's like a glass of wine and
The
relax.
Reward. The reward and the relax.
Yeah, and then you're really not giving your body any kind of fuel that it can use.
No.
So one suggestion, what would be your one suggestion if you were going to give a suggestion to our audience?
Wow, just one.
Just one.
That's-
What would be the first thing that you would tell them?
Oh, I would say that it really all starts with making a decision.
Okay.
Make a decision that you're worthy of having a life and a body that you love,
Right.
that serves you well. That we're not, that you're thriving in, not just surviving, not just getting through the day.
Exactly.
that, you know, I'm in my 50s now and I feel like I'm so gung-ho for like the next 30 years, you know, or whatever. It's like I just don't feel any different really to when I was in my 30s. I feel better now than I may have done back then.
Because you're eating better now.
Yes. So, you know, generally I get a good sleep. I mean, there's always something where you wake up or, you know, you're not getting a solid... I don't think I sleep for 8 hours. But I'm usually in bed by 10. I have a routine. And then I'm up. Depending on the time of year, like in the summer months, it's earlier. Right. I tend to like to get up when it's light.
Yeah.
So in the winter...
you sleep in a little.
Yeah, you know, I'm up.
But you actually are being balanced with what your body needs instead of trying to force yourself to do something that doesn't feel natural to you.
Yeah, it's like living with the rhythm of life. How the farmers work, you know, they're up with the sun. Right. And it's good.
And the other thing I want to ask you is, looking into the future, say the next 5-10 years, what would you like to see happen?
Oh gosh, I would really love to see organic food more available to more people through actual quantity and price.
Exactly.
And you know, the government has been subsidizing the top 5 growers since the 1930s, I believe.
Right.
So it's those top 5 that are, you know, the soy, the corn, the wheat, and whatnot are in these processed foods. So like high fructose corn syrup. Right. is very damaging to our health, and it's in so many of the foods as a way to preserve. There's so many emulsifiers, and things should not, you know, bread shouldn't be immortal. I mean, it should go moldy. You know, it's not supposed to last 3 weeks.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I would just say that to really, it does come down to a decision. Because I knew when I got that diagnosis, I mean, my life wasn't being threatened, but I just saw it as an opportunity.
Your quality of life was being threatened.
Yes, it was scary to me to go down that road.
And if we, as a community, purchase good, healthy food, we're going to make a demand for that. And the other stuff that's sitting on the shelf because we're not buying it, they'll stop making it.
Yeah, supply and demand is so true.
Yeah.
But now, if you notice, there are, you know, marketers move with the times, and they know what the new buzzwords are. So everything is gluten-free now. But you have to read the label because there's other stuff in it.
Yeah. To make sure that it's healthy all the way through.
Yeah.
So anyone that wants to really add to their quality of their life and get more energy and not have to diet anymore should go to Ellie's website, which is
elliesavoy.com.
Okay, or give her a buzz at
845-677-9403.
Thank you so much, Ellie.
And also, Nan, if I could just say, there's a copy of my book for free on my website.
Okay.
It's the whole book, not just a chapter or two.
So there's no excuses.
Yes, so you can't make it easier than that, right?
So download your free copy today.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I've been looking for a house with no walls.